What is going on, guys? It's Ashley here. Welcome back to another Wolves video. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a top 5. And we're going to be counting down the top 5 Wolves games that I have been to. Now, I am fully aware that well, there probably have been much better games than these that I'm going to be featuring in this list. But these are, as I say, the games that I have been to, and I have only been going to games since 2013-14, as well. I'm not that old as some other Wolves fans, so I haven't been fortunate enough to experience some games that may have been better. But these are just my top 5 games in my opinion. So starting off at number 5. Starting off with the 2013-14 season, and it's Wolves against Gillingham, the second game of the season, the first home game of the season after the 0-0 draw with Preston on the opening day. And at this time, the club were in a rebuilding phase. You know, after back-to-back relegations, the club was in a bit of a state. It needed a promotion. The fans were disillusioned, and it was not a good time to be a Wolves fan in those 2 seasons. But that 2013-14 season was magical, and it was a season that the club desperately needed. And it all started off with a 4-0 win over Gillingham on the second game of the season. And well, I was quite young at that time, so I don't really remember it, but 10th of August 2013, I can sort of recall it, but it's not really rememberable. But it was a good win, and it was an important win as well, and it was kind of the start of the road to recovery for Wolves. And you know, we all know what happened that season: record-breaking points total, and just completely tore League One apart, and emphatically returned to the Championship. We're talking about the Championship next. In at number 4 is the game against Derby County in the season after 2014-15. Now, don't worry, I'm not talking about the game at Pride Park in November. We had an absolutely horrible November. Brilliant season the season before, and a season the club really needed, but we got to an absolute flyer, and we kind of brought back down to earth in that Derby game. And I remember watching it on TV. It was horrible, absolutely horrible, and we had a horrible month in general that November. The return fixture at Molyneux was much better, and I actually went to that one. And I do remember it. I sat in the Steve Ball lower, and I do remember that game. It was a good game, and a good goal as well from Nuadiko, and the second goal was a calamitous error from Lee Grant. Obviously now, probably, what is it, like 3rd choice keeper at Man United, maybe even 4th choice. I don't know even why he went to Manchester United. Probably just for the paycheck, to be honest. But there you go, brilliant win, and a brilliant way to avenge that horrible defeat away at Pride Park in November. In at number 3 is, I have no words to describe this game really, but the absolute stormer of a game, which was the Good Friday game between Wolves and Rotherham in League One. 10 goals, what a game! I mean, we had some comfortable leads in that game. I think at one point we were 3-1 up, we were 4-2 up. Twice in that game we had a 2-goal advantage. In any other game, you would think that team is comfortable, but I mean, it just wasn't the game for that. It just wasn't. Johnny Phillips, just from Sky Sports, completely sums it up in this clip here.
4-4, 2 minutes plus injury time. There's going to be about another 5 to come. Jules, what a game! I've got to go.
Yeah, that's just the type of game it was, and I've never seen a game like it. In all the games I have been to, I've been to some absolutely brilliant games, some of which I've already mentioned in this video, but this is a wonder best. Rotherham at this point were going for promotion, and they were still in the hunt for automatic promotion. Brentford were in pole position. I think at this point we were already promoted. I think a couple of weeks earlier we secured promotion. I think it was a couple of weeks already. It might have been a week earlier. Can't really remember, but we did secure promotion at Crewe with a 2-0 win. So we were already up. Still hadn't sealed. We hadn't sealed the title yet. We were to do that later. That was on the Easter Monday away at Leyton Orient, where we won 3-1. But we were already promoted. Rotherham were chasing automatic promotion. Brentford, as I say, were in pole position, and they needed to win this game to still be within a chance of getting automatic promotion. And they did get promoted in the end. They got promoted through the playoffs. They beat Leyton Orient. They've been a bit of a topsy-turvy team ever since. They've kept coming up and down between the Championship and League One. They've been kind of like they're kind of like the West Brom of the Championship. They're kind of like a yo-yo team between Championship and League One. But anyway, we were only behind once in this game. We went 1-0 down early on, but then it's a game where Nudiko got a hat-trick, and for them, Kieran Agard got a hat-trick as well. And we went 3-1 up. They pulled it back to 3-2. We went 4-2 up, and then they scored 2 goals. It was 4-4. And then in the 90th minute, Sam Ricketts, the captain, stepped up and made it 5-4. And then deep into injury time, Kevin McDonald rounded off a superb win. Massive leap towards the League One title, which, as I say, we sealed a few days later on Easter Monday in the lunchtime kickoff against Leyton Orient, which was on telly. And I remember that game also very well. That was a very good game, and that was a brilliant goal as well in that game for James Henry to make it 3-1 in that game. But I'm talking about the Rotherham game for this video, and I'd say that was absolutely brilliant, and hopefully we get more games like that in the future. It was quite nervy towards the end, so I mean it probably would, a game like that in the Premier League would be too tense. I mean, probably a similar example like that would probably be the Leicester game last season. Would be a similar one to the Rotherham game. I mean, both games, high-scoring games. Everyone loves a high-scoring game, don't they? But maybe not if you're actually one of the fans, or on one of the receiving ends of a high-scoring game. Fondly remember that one. And I was sitting in the Billy Wright upper for that one. What a season that was in League One. 103 points. Absolutely fantastic. Another game coming in at number 2 is Wolves against Sheffield United. The 2-0... No, not the 2-0, the 3-0 win. And, well, this season in general, the 2017-18 season, was the first season really that I really properly got into Wolves vlogging. I mean, I remember doing the Bristol City game, I did the Yeovil game in the League Cup, and I did the Bolton game, I did the Sheffield United game, I did the Fulham game as well. And that's the first real season that I properly got into Wolves vlogging and properly transformed this channel into a Wolves channel. And it was a really enjoyable season, and partly so because of the absolute screamers Ruben Neves scored that season. He just absolutely took the league by storm, and I still can't believe we got him for £15 million, and what we've got back for that amount of money. It's an absolute steal, and I can't, at the time, as Wolves fans, we couldn't believe our eyes really that a Portuguese wunderkid was fighting for us in the Championship when he's been playing already for Porto. And I think he was captaining Porto as well in the Champions League. So it's just crazy, really. But it's been an incredible journey. We've really come on leaps and bounds with players like him, and it was a brilliant goal. And I feel so lucky I managed to capture that goal on camera. It was a brilliant goal against Sheffield United and a resounding win. And it was at that point in February 2018 that we were really believing, as Wolves fans, we were really believing that we can go on and win the championship title. And yeah, we were all singing top of the league. We're top of the league, and it was a great time. And yeah, a brilliant game, and I absolutely loved going to those games. I still do. Any Wolves game that I go to, especially the Norwich game, because I hadn't been to a Wolves game for so long because we just couldn't get tickets at all. That was an awesome game a few months ago as well, the Norwich game. But that unfortunately doesn't make it into the list. Even though that was a great game, a 3-0 win over Norwich, that doesn't make it into the list. In at number 1, and I know it's a controversial one. I know this one is a defeat, and it could go into one of the worst games in Wolves history in terms of the manner we lost the game. But hear me out here. The Watford game last season, the semi-final, hear me out. It was incredible. Despite the defeat, and I was absolutely deflated after on the coach journey back. I was absolutely deflated. Just the experience going to Wembley for the first time, it was just incredible. And we're not going to talk about the game. I'm not going to talk about the game. Throughout this video so far, I've talked about the game, and the experience and everything, and how it was such a brilliant experience. And it was a brilliant experience going to Wembley and just stepping inside Wembley. It was just brilliant, and I hope I get to do that again because it was just awesome. And the pre-match atmosphere was brilliant. The Wolves fans were rejoicing, and it was just awesome. Outside Wembley, singing with all the other Wolves fans, it was just a brilliant experience. And I'm not going to talk about the game. As I say, the atmosphere was incredible, and I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's only my second ever time going to London for a Wolves game as well, because the other one I've made a separate video about it, reflecting on that. But I went in the 2016-17 season. My first ever away game was the 3-1 win over Fulham in the Championship, where it was a pretty dismal season, but as my first away game, I mean, I'm surprised we won that because Fulham were on an amazing run. Well, they were flying high. They were destined for playoffs, and obviously they did get playoffs in the end. But that was such an amazing away win. I've never lost at Molineux. I've still got that magical. It's somewhat magical, really. That I've in all the games I've been to at Molineux, I've never seen Wolves lose, which is great, really. But yeah, that's the only time I've ever seen Wolves lose. I've seen Wolves lose many times on TV, but in real life, actually watching them in real life, that's the only time I've ever seen Wolves lose was the FA Cup semi-final. And I know that was controversial putting that at number 1 for the best Wolves game, because that was just horrible in the way we lost it. But I'm solely putting that at number 1 because the experience was absolutely incredible, and I really did enjoy just walking down Wembley Way. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and it was just as you expect, absolutely packed for a cup semi-final, and it was just awesome. Let's just put that to bed. I'm still sticking to my word. I'm still not speaking about the actual game. I did kind of speak briefly about how it unfolded, but I didn't actually go into details about the game because it's still unspeakable. It still hurts to this day. But I'm glad we got revenge on their own patch a couple of weeks later in the Premier League. That was pretty nice, and that felt a bit better. But that's it. I thought I'd try something a bit different for today's video, and I've probably warranted many dislikes now for just putting the Watford game at number 1. But I mean, it just had to be done. It had to be done, no matter how hard it is to get over the fact that we lost that game. I just had to do it because the atmosphere was just incredible, and the best is in terms of pre-match atmosphere, it was the best I've ever seen as a Wolves fan. It was incredible, and hopefully we get more times like that in the future. But that's it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed. I mean, you probably were enjoying it up until I mentioned the Watford game, but yeah, I hope you did enjoy. See you on Wednesday. Until then, goodbye guys!